welcome to Meanwhile in the Falklands. Oh gosh, that's a lot better. This is the second time I've recorded this opening because we had problems with the microphones. But anyway, we're back up to full speed. Woo! Yeah, look at it. Look, enthusiasm in this room for a Friday morning.
It's Friday! We're just too excited about our special evening events that we've
Super special evening events.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, last week we said goodbye to Tom. He's gone, and I think he's on holiday now, actually.
Yeah.
He's in Budapest.
Oh yeah, he is, isn't he?
Yes. Lost his keys to the office,
Yes,
which has caused us a little bit of a problem. We may even, listener, have to swap doors because we've got lots of keys for one door and not a lot of keys for another door. We're going to have to swap the doors. No, because I can't get them cut anywhere. Oh. So anyway, obviously we're here with...
Hannah. Big loud Hannah.
And Kyle, quiet Kyle.
Oh. And look, listener. Listen, listener.
And new Ollie, once a listener, now a broadcast journalist.
Yay! So we've got Ollie with us as well.
The bird is in the nest, he arrived in one piece.
It's all good.
That's the main thing.
That was our secret thing.
The special package arrived?
Anyway, it's been quite a tough week. You've been poorly, haven't you, Hannah?
It has been very tough for me. I've had 3 days off.
So tough.
Yeah, it's such a tough short week of 1 day in work. Very tough.
Yeah, so
but I have had
Carl and I actually had to do some work.
I know, that makes a change. God, I'm used to just sitting around.
I know, Carl just sits around and pretends to do work and switches his screen when you go near it. He's like, quick, make it look like I'm doing work.
Anyway, it was a really good weekend. There was loads of stuff on this weekend. The fire engine pool was back. That was an annual event for the fire brigade pulling the truck. I was at the start. You guys were sort of in the middle and the end,
we were
weren't
well
you?
spread, weren't we?
But
I can't believe that they pull a full, what was it, something like 10 tonnes or 10, crazy weight fire truck all that way down from the Beaver Hangar to the public jetty.
And some of it's uphill as well, which
what's
makes
the
it...
distance?
Oh gosh, I don't know.
Anyone know what the distance is?
It's got to be at least a
3K?
mile or something like that.
But you were talking to Jock, one of the firefighters, should I say, PC, who done it 8 times.
Yeah.
Twice he drove though, so I was like, well, that's a bit of a
does
cop
that
out.
count?
I bumped into him the other day.
Yeah, that doesn't really count.
Well,
Yeah,
that
no,
doesn't count. And then he had a knee injury and things.
Excuses.
And he's an old boy, Jock, if you're listening. Not that you will be, but still.
Shocking!
Old boy pulling a fire engine.
So much for not naming names unless it's positive.
It's a positive thing. Jock knows I'm telling it. Saying something good. Come on. I was impressed by his stamina for his age.
That was the pep talk I did before we pressed record. Ollie said, how does it go? And I said, well, just if you see this sign that says me putting my hand across my neck, then you just shut up and you don't name anyone unless it's in a positive light.
And I've just gone straight in there and... No, but Jock knows it.
Cruel.
Very impressed.
We're friends with Jock. He's
and
a
you had
good
a very
guy.
interesting interview, didn't you, with another firefighter?
Oh yeah, that's the bloopers at the end of this programme.
Yes.
So,
Easter
Look
egg,
forward
watch
to
the
that.
programme.
Yeah, watch the
It's
programme.
very funny.
Week number 458. You know, in the whole big scheme of things, it's probably not our best programme we've ever done.
It's because I wasn't here.
But
I'm just saying.
Obviously.
my favourite part of the programme, well, it's not. It's sad news in that the community library is closing. I don't know. It says unforeseen circumstances, and we don't know what that is. But they are going. They're going up to the new place.
Training centre.
Training
yes.
centre. Well, no, that's Falklands
Falklands
College.
College,
No,
actually.
Falklands College. No one calls it a training centre anymore.
The new place.
The new place.
The new place in February. So they're moving up to there.
God, that soon.
Yeah,
It's going to be open in February.
apparently so. But
That's the plan.
in the news, we've got to put library pictures over the top with library pictures footage written on it, which is my favourite.
It's something
part
that
of this
probably we all find exciting. The listener probably doesn't understand.
No, but
it's
watch
very
it and then you'll see.
exciting.
Then you'll see. We didn't go to the Advent market, did we? I don't think, because you were feeling a bit rotten by then, weren't you?
Yeah.
I had a little. I nosed in, but
There wasn't a lot
No.
there.
Yeah.
Although I think it was full of fun and games.
It usually is, and they usually raise quite a big chunk of money as well. The Bishop was in the islands this week, so he was doing some...
I'm going to say it, and it's probably
Go
going to get bleeped out, but Dishy Bish.
Oh,
You never
really?
met the Dishy Bish,
I've never
did you?
met the
Never
Dishy
met
Bish.
So the Dishy Bish came, what was it, last year, was it?
Oh, he comes every year, yeah.
He came down and we were all like, oh, who's this chap?
Dishy Bish.
Very Dishy
Yeah,
Bish.
so
He is a man of the Lord.
He is a man of the Lord.
But for you, listener, that's a secret between us and you. We call him the Dishy Bish. Anyway, he was in the islands, the Advent service, installing the new vicar, blessing the roof. That was a bit of a logistics challenge because he had to get the water on the
Oh,
roof.
did he actually have to like?
Did he get
chuck
up
it
in a
up there?
craned arm?
Well, yeah, there was some chat on how he was going to get the water up there, and I suggested a catapult, and he could just chuck
water
it.
bomb, balloon bomb.
Yeah,
water
like
bombs,
holy water balloon.
Why didn't he do that? Is the question anyway.
If we were down there.
Oh, can we get your joke there? Because he also installed some cannons.
Which is surprising because you wouldn't think the church would need that much defence.
Hey!
There we go.
He's here all week.
I didn't know what a cannon was though. Can you, Paula, explain?
Well, it's like this big device where you fire this ball out of.
What is a cannon in terms of church?
It's a title for a reverend, going from a reverend to the next one up. So the Reverend Kathy Biles, who's been in the islands for some time now, and has been reverend here in the islands. So for her emeritus service.
So do we call her Canon Kathy Biles now?
Yeah, do we have to change what we...
Yeah, you've got to call her the Reverend Canon... Is it the Reverend Canon Kathy Biles, or is it just Canon Kathy Biles? I don't know.
It just sounds like a wrestling
I
name,
know.
doesn't it? Canon Kathy Biles.
We need to sort that out. And also it's an honorary title, and also it's emeritus, so I don't know, we have to call her Canon
I
Emeritus.
thought emeritus was to do with Arsenal.
This is
Am I
going to
wrong
be
there?
a challenge to get into an Aston bar now when
Yeah.
it's the Canon Emeritus Reverend Kathy Biles.
Watch this space. But the big thing is, listener, is when you do attribute the Reverend title, it goes with their first name, not their surname. So she is the Reverend Kathy, not the Reverend Biles.
Oh, I
So
didn't know.
top tip, Ollie.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
But what about
Learn
Father
something
Ted?
every
Oh, Father Ted. Like Father Ted, it just goes with the first name.
Light bulbs
All
coming
making
on.
sense now.
So, Hannah, this is not the only stress we've had about grammar this week.
This isn't, no.
No.
So I've been very busy squirreling away, uploading some of our podcasts and things. But I'm getting very irate with people because this podcast listener, as you know, is
With people,
meanwhile-
she means Tom and Kyle.
Yeah.
Meanwhile in the Falklands, right?
Yes.
Title we all nicely chose,
Yep.
decided on where the commas were going to go and the ... and episode this. It's all over the place. You've got meanwhile in the Falklands, you've got episode A, or spelt wrong episode, all sorts of things. So we need to double check our grammar when we're doing it. When we're uploading the podcast, because it just looks messy and willy-nilly.
Yes.
And listeners probably already picked up on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
When they've looked on our iTunes or
know
SoundCloud
what
and
they're
been like,
looking
what
at.
is this?
I did pick up on that. I'm not
Oh!
gonna say it. I didn't want to say anything though. But hey.
Exactly.
Yeah.
House style, keep to it.
So Kyle apparently has got a new tie, because I'd put on the podcast
do.
list, we're going to start a crowdfunding page for Kyle, because when I was putting Thomas's pieces, leaving piece together, obviously I was looking through previous episodes of Falklands in Focus. You're wearing the same tie in each one. And when you read the news this week, I thought you were wearing the same one. Apparently it's a new one.
It's
but
a new one.
It's your
the same
favourite.
colour.
It's the same
It's
colour.
a similar colour and it's got a bit of a design on it.
Oh,
But I've got two new ties, and I've got that one and I've got a blue one. So
So
look
Marks and
out.
Spencer's next. Anyone who's listening who sells ties.
Or Falkland Islands government, if you'd
Flippin'
like to
sell us
donate Carla tie,
But
you know,
a
the nice Falkland
special
Islands
Falklands
tie
one.
with the,
Yeah.
that would be very nice.
Yeah.
I think maybe we should have advised a clip-on tie.
Do you
Might
know?
have just worked. We should
No.
I brought one of them already.
Have
I've
you?
got a few of them.
Oh, there we go.
That was my first thing.
What,
little
clip-on
clip-on
ties?
Yeah, no, I've got normal
Proper ties, yeah, I should
no,
think
No,
so.
but a clip-on tie would be
No,
perfectly
no,
adequate.
no. We
Stop
don't
it
do
from
clip-on
slipping down
ties.
your neck.
I will say my tie this week was probably the best tie I've done so far. And I
Do you know
think
how
it
to
looks
do a double
fine.
Windsor?
I don't think we're going to have any calls
That's
or
good.
emails about your tie this week,
Normally do.
because we normally
Oh, really?
do.
Well, we normally get
different
comments
people.
from a very specific clown prosecutor who...
No, you've got London. There's people in
And
London.
people in
No,
London.
you've got
People
a
in
following
London.
now.
But, well, you know.
Carl's Wonky
It's
Tie
all, it's
Group.
all about building a brand. That's what it's about.
Anyway, so Ollie, no pressure.
It's all right,
You'll be doing the news next week, so
Right.
obviously it's got to be a tie. You've got to get done.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of knot do you favour?
Just a normal kind of school tie, you know.
Oh,
Oh,
school,
here we go.
no, we don't do
Don't worry,
school.
Carl doesn't know how to do a double Windsor.
No, you go up the
whatever.
corridor and get Steve to do your half Windsor.
Right, no
Oh, it's a
problem.
half.
I'll
There
do
we
that
are. I can't
straight
even
away.
say it right.
Yeah.
Good job I don't have to wear a tie. I just wear the same dress every week.
Exactly.
Sorry, Mum. She always says to me, how do you wear the same dress?
She was complaining to me about what you wear. She was
Oh.
like, oh, Hannah's never wearing the set. She wasn't there.
So
Yeah.
But
Kyle
she could have been.
visited Hannah's mum.
I did.
I know,
We had a
yeah.
lovely chat, and she was asking me all questions about Hannah. And
She was asking questions about you. Come on.
I was just like, she bullies me and she's horrible and she never wants to phone you and I make her phone you.
Oh, for God's sake! No, Mum, I'm sorry. That's not true. If you're listening,
No,
Mum listens every week.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I met
You have to
Hannah's.
get your parents to listen every week.
I think
as
they do.
well,
I think
so
they
they
listen
actually
to
know what
this,
you're
yeah.
doing. Because otherwise, Mum has no idea what we've done.
No, I had a lovely chat with Hannah's mum. She was absolutely delightful.
That is good. What's
So,
it like?
moving on, this is something we've learnt this week. This would be interesting to you. This has obviously got a psychological edge to it.
Right.
Is that when somebody's on stage and they're giving a talk or they're doing some comedy or whatever, if they're on stage, as they are looking at the audience, they will always favour the right-hand side of the room.
Wow, okay.
Top tip, right? So Hannah and I filmed a presentation earlier on in the week, didn't we, with Chris Gare, who stood, and he did exactly that, didn't he? He favoured the right-hand side of the room, and unfortunately I was situated on the left-hand side of the room. As the stage looks at it. If you're in the audience, it was the right-hand side. Anyway, you'll see. But I was saying to Hannah, that's occurred quite a few times when we've done the drag show, edited the drag show and things like that. If you're on stage, you tend to favour the right-hand side of the room as you look at it. So, top tip, guys.
I wonder whether it's something to do with your brain and the way your brain splits and the way you think.
I wonder if it's to do just with your dominant hand or something like that. Yeah.
If you know, listener, write in. Engage with us. Come on.
Yes. Comment.
We had some breaking news, didn't we, this week? We'd recorded the news already, and then you ran in
Yes.
with your
With
top
the update
story.
about the library.
Yeah, the library's closed.
Breaking news.
Breaking
dun, dun.
news.
Special report.
Unfortunately, Hannah had already taken her makeup off.
I was
So-
off the clock at that point, so I just thought, you know what?
As soon as Hannah gets off that sofa, the makeup wipe
Makeup's
comes
off.
out.
Eagle-eyed viewers will notice that Carl is on his Jack Jones.
Yep.
At a certain part.
Yep. Because I'm prepared for the news whenever it comes up.
You are, aren't you?
Unlike
When-
some
in your
who've
tie.
left for them.
Although
Apart from my tie.
you loosened your tie.
I did
a little
loosen
bit.
my tie, but then I did try to get it back into position. Whether or not it was successful, I'm sure I will hear at some point.
So, Ollie, you've been in the islands for less than a day.
Yeah.
What are your highlights?
Highlights of- there's no trees. That's quite a different one.
That's a peculiarism, isn't
Yes,
it?
that was quite different because I'm from Home Firth, which is like there's trees everywhere. So that's kind of a big change already. And I've obviously me and Kyle went to go see the penguins, which was quite nice. Got to
We
get that
did.
first picture in there
Yep.
and all that.
We did a quick trip to Gypsy Cove, where the Magellanics were loud as ever, and yeah, it was nice.
Or whether they were having a go at you.
They were, but that's the usual.
So, what are you looking forward to most?
Just speaking to everyone. I know it's quite cliche, but like speaking to everyone, and it's new. It's new for me. I've never been to the Falklands before, so it's going to be quite exciting, really, to get involved with everything. You know, I do a lot of football, a lot of sports, and all that kind of
Oh,
stuff.
they're going to be pleased about that because they've had to cancel the football match this weekend because Stanley can't do a team.
Oh,
So if you do
as
play
an extra
football,
player,
Yeah.
I'll be.
I think
Might save the
they'll be
day.
dead chuffed about that.
I need to get a bit more training
Yeah.
in there, but hey ho.
Well, we'll find out. I can't remember who it was we need to speak to, but we'll find out when the training is, and you can
Oh,
get down and do that. We'll be going through where to muster if there's a fire later on.
where to
can't
muster?
wait.
Oh,
Muster, love that word. Where to muster if there's a fire, and then we're going on a tour round Stanley, which is really to go and get some Christmas shopping. But you know, we're going to tour round Stanley later, show you where to go.
How about like what would you recommend me to see first?
I don't know.
Because you were the previous new person. So
To
you
be
kind of
honest,
know how
when
to do it.
Paula did my tour of Stanley, I was still a little bit tired from the flight, and it was a lot of names and a lot of places, and I think I came away from it going, I know I've been places, but I don't know where they've been or what they were. I don't know whether the highlights of Stanley. Knowing where the shops are is probably the best highlight.
Yeah.
Knowing where you can get your food, that and going up to Gypsy Cove and seeing the lovely sights there. When
It is nice, isn't it?
nice
When
and daylight.
when it's a lovely evening and you just go down to Surf Bay
Yeah.
and the colours. I think that's what really struck me about the Falklands is the colours. I think it's because there's no air pollution,
Yeah.
so the colours are just so pure. The
Yeah.
water is very blue, and the land and the sky and just everything is
It
just
still
absolutely
surprises
beautiful.
me now how blue
Yeah.
the sea can look and how clear and white the sand can be, and the contrast between the greens and blues and all
Yeah.
sorts. It's absolutely amazing.
Look at Cargo and all art and pottery retreat. Look.
Look, Paula's art and pottery retreat is affecting us all. Hannah had an art and pottery moment yesterday. In fact, she's making some pottery this weekend or something, isn't she?
Carl said, "Oh, should we go and do whatever it was?"
Yeah.
And she went, "No, I'm actually going to be painting some pottery."
Oh, is there like a pottering club or something?
There's the amount of arts and crafts that go down in Falklands is absolutely
Are
incredible.
you arty inclined?
I mean, I'm sure I'll give it a go, no problem. But
So there's a weekly art class. There's people that do felting and people that do knitting and crocheting and.
oh wow.
Tell us the difference now,
Oh
Kyle.
God! Oh God!
What's the difference
put
between
you on the
knitting and
spot.
crochet?
The difference between knitting and crochet is that knitting has two
For the benefit of the tape, Kyle is using his hands.
Gesticulating.
I want to say knitting needles. That's what I was going to say. I was going to say knitting sticks, but I knew that's not the name of them were. So knitting needles, and you got to tie the thing.
He's
off
now
down
gesticulating wildly.
It's all over the place. But you've got to pull the wool around and then kind of.
Break it in half? Is that what you do?
You've got to like.
Strangle it.
You've got to like knot it together.
Okay.
But with crocheting, you just have this one little, like, almost toothpick-sized little hook, and you hook stuff. That's not that is crochet.
I don't know, but I just love that. I think that's my favourite thing of the day.
I was
Kyle
studying-
explains knitting and crochet.
I was studying Paula's face, and she kept giving me weird looks, and I was like, oh, I feel like I've done this. It's in video form that I've done this.
So this time last year, I think it was, Thomas came up with this brilliant idea to do a knitting show where men knit. And it was going to be, he wanted to call it something else, which I'm not going to say because it's not for polite company, but I persuaded him to call it King of the Yarn. Yeah.
That's good.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like
yeah,
that.
King of the Yarn.
I want to know what the original name was now.
Yeah.
I'll tell you after the podcast. Yes, so King of the Yarn. So I think that should come into fruition. Actually, I think we need to think about doing that.
You know what? The knitting that I have done while I've been down here was judged to be adequate.
Oh, was that Hannah?
Oh,
This-
what
the-
knitting have you done since
The,
you've been down
the
here?
single row of knitting that I did at the mental health breakfast was judged to be adequate, and I will take that to my grave.
Did you?
Yes.
Did they do that? Because the spinners and weavers go down there, don't they?
Yeah.
What
So
was that thing you made that was a purple square that was on the...
That was weaving.
Oh,
So
weaving.
Nancy was taking me through crocheting and weaving and knitting, and I was panicking the entire time. And
King of the Yarn.
She was
Kyle,
lovely.
King of the
and
Yarn.
she was lying through her teeth and saying, "You're doing so well," which I really appreciated. Nancy's lovely.
What do you use with that purple square then? Is it still around in the house?
It's in my room somewhere. I meant to
In
take
the
it.
bin.
I meant to take it home and give it to my mum and be like, "Look what I've achieved."
Happy Christmas, Mum. Here's a square.
Here's this lovely. Use it as a mouse blanket. It'll go.
Oh, no, that's lovely.
Look at me.
So that's the things you could be doing, Ollie.
Yes.
No problem, yeah.
So listener, join in at our next and subsequent podcasts so you can hear what Ollie's been up to and what he's been trying
What
out.
we've made him do.
Yes.
Can't wait.
Which brings us swiftly on to what's happening tonight.
Yes.
Aren't we
Hannah's
excited?
got to look at dread in
You
her
I
can-
face.
actually do. I can't remember any of our routine.
So we're going to, actually we can say it because actually by the time this goes out,
Yeah.
no one will know. So we're doing the Christmas Challenge concert this week, brilliantly organised by Maurice and Debbie Lake. It's down at the Town Hall, it's free entry, and all the local groups take part, do a little
Riff-raff.
thing.
Yep.
So the brownies are there singing something. You get
Firemen
given,
do stuff.
yeah, you,
Firefighters.
firefighters do so.
God,
You
I'm
get given
terrible.
them, you get given a song and you have to perform it. We are doing a ballet
Yes, we are.
dressed as penguins.
It's going to be quite the performance.
Oh yes, quite the performance.
Have you ever done ballet before? I've never given that
You
a go.
guys are all right. You're
Yes.
in penguin suits.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
We're
You can't really
completely
see
hidden
what you're
from the
doing.
audience.
So-
All right.
Yeah,
that's
so we're
all
going to be
we're-
dressed as penguins. Hannah is going to be dressed as an elf. I need to find your ears. I've got ears for
Oh
you
my
somewhere
good God.
in the
I
house.
don't really know what I'm supposed to be doing. You have to go through it again.
Don't worry.
I'm very
It
nervous.
will be fine.
We're quite well off because we're meant to be bumbling penguins in the background. So even
Sounds
if we
good
mess
to
it
me.
up a little bit, we can probably style it out and get away with
Look
it.
at you looking at me,
Yeah.
but that's all right. Isn't it?
I think we should make Kyle wear the elf suit. I've decided.
Look, you've already put me in one dress. and
Yeah,
that's more
that
than
was so
enough.
good.
When Kyle arrived, we had just finished doing The Importance of Being Earnest, and I was Lady Bracknell. and he put on my dress and.
Out of choice.
Out of
No,
choice.
he didn't. We just thought, why did we make you do that? I can't remember.
Because it was funny.
Yeah, it was
Anyway,
funny.
it looks like we have a guest coming, so Hannah's going to quickly go and see who that is. And I think we've come to the end of our podcast for this week. So join us, watch along, week number 458. Next week, so much going on. Battle Day Memorial on Sunday.
Busy.
For the first time ever, FITV are going to be able to have Monday off because it's a bank holiday Monday. Woohoo!
Not that I didn't have all of this week off, but woo, I won't be ill, hopefully.
We've got the IJS production next week. It's just called something like, it's not called Call the Midwife, but it's called something like that. We're decorating our FITV Christmas tree. We're going to go to the watch group
Yes, we're all doing a talk,
Yes.
by the way. I've signed us all up for it.
Excellent,
so
well done.
that'll be exciting.
We've got loads of things going on next week. The museum lights. It's going to be so Christmassy. It's
Oh,
going to be more
Christmas
Christmas
tree
than you can
festival.
shake a stick at.
That'll be
Yeah.
exciting.
So, all good stuff. So, we will see you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.
See ya.